When was the last time you took a moment to truly ask yourself a simple question? Am I being appreciated for what I bring to the table? Most of us are so busy trying to give, to support, to help, to please, that we rarely pause to evaluate if our presence is being genuinely valued. The painful truth is that all of us, at some point in our lives, put our heart into places where it isn't recognized, invest our energy into people who don't see our worth, and sacrifice our own peace just to keep others comfortable. We hold on to silent hopes, believing that if we just keep giving, one day they will finally realize how much we matter. But the reality is that people rarely value what they're used to. Let me ask you directly, are you staying in a place right now where your kindness is taken for granted? Are you still showing up for people who only notice your absence, never your presence? If the answer is yes, then it's time to be brutally honest with yourself. This is not love. This is not loyalty. This is self-betrayal. You see, walking away is not a sign of weakness. It's not giving up. Walking away when you're not appreciated is the highest form of self-respect. It's a decision that says, I refuse to remain in any environment that drains my energy, disrespects my worth, and blocks my growth. And that, my friend, is the very first step to real power. Too many good people stay stuck in places that constantly belittle them. They stay silent, hoping that maybe, just maybe, things will change. They tell themselves, if I stay a little longer, maybe they'll finally see my true value. But here's the hard truth. Your value does not increase by staying silent. Your worth is not proven by how long you tolerate disrespect. Think about it. When you continue to give what is not appreciated, you teach others that it is okay to keep taking from you. You teach them that your loyalty has no boundaries. And worst of all, you begin to believe that maybe you don't deserve any better. But let me remind you of something important today. You deserve better. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be heard. You deserve to be appreciated. In this world, there are two kinds of people. Those who drain your energy and those who fuel your growth. The first group will demand, criticize, complain, and never be satisfied with what you do. They will always ask for more time, more attention, more sacrifice, and every time you give, they act like it's nothing. They will make you feel guilty, as if you're not doing enough, even though you're the one carrying everything on your shoulders. The second group will uplift you. They will tell you when you've done something great. They will remind you that your presence matters and that your efforts are seen. They will speak life and encouragement into you. They don't make you feel exhausted. They make you feel inspired. Now the question is, which group are you surrounding yourself with right now? And more importantly, why are you still holding on to people who constantly drain you? The truth is, many people stay because they are afraid. Afraid of being alone. Afraid of starting over. Afraid of being misunderstood. But here's the secret. Walking away will set you free. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone. You don't need to fight or prove anything. You just need to quietly close the door and move forward. Sometimes walking away is the most powerful "I love myself" you will ever say. Listen carefully. Your life will change the moment you realize that you do not exist to be tolerated. You exist to be appreciated. You exist to grow, to expand, to evolve into your greatest potential. And the people who truly belong in your life will never make you feel like you have to constantly prove your value to them. They will recognize it. They will honor it. They will protect it. So today, I want you to take a deep breath and ask yourself one life-changing question. Am I being valued? Or am I being used? If the answer is, I'm being used, then it's time to walk away. Because the longer you stay in a place where you're not appreciated, the more you forget how powerful you truly are. You were not created to live in environments that dim your light. You were meant to shine, to grow, to inspire, and to leave a positive impact on this world. And you can't do that if you keep pouring yourself into people who don't care enough to pour anything back. So here is your first step today. Decide that from this moment forward, you will no longer accept half-hearted effort, selfish behavior, or emotional manipulation from anyone. Decide that your energy is sacred, and it will only be shared with those who genuinely value it. Decide that you will walk away the very moment someone shows you that they don't appreciate your presence. That decision may hurt at first, but in the long run, it will save your life. Now that you've made the decision to walk away from environments where you are not appreciated, something powerful begins to happen inside you. A quiet strength begins to rise. For the first time in a long time, You're no longer trying to fit into a space that doesn't recognize your worth. Instead, you're opening the door to something new, something healthier, more meaningful, and far more aligned with who you really are. Many people don't realize this. But walking away is not just an act of removal. It is also an act of invitation. When you remove yourself from something that no longer deserves you, you make space for something better to enter your life. Think about it like this. If your hands are full of things that no longer serve you, how can you possibly receive anything new? You can't. Too many people are trying to hold on to the old and receive the new at the same time. But real transformation does not work that way. You must let go first. And yes, letting go is uncomfortable. There will be moments when you doubt yourself. You'll ask questions like, what if I made a mistake? What if there's nothing better out there? What if I'm the problem? These thoughts are normal. They are part of the process. But here's something you must remember. Growth always begins with discomfort. Every time you step out of an unhealthy environment, your mind will try to pull you back because it was used to being stuck there. But don't fall for that trap. That feeling is not a sign that you should go back. It's a sign that you are breaking a pattern. In those moments of doubt, remind yourself of why you walked away in the first place. Go back to that moment when you finally said, enough. Was it the constant criticism, the emotional neglect, the ungrateful attitude that made you feel invisible, even though you gave everything you had? Hold that memory in your mind, not to stay in pain, but to stay awake. Because once you truly wake up and realize your value, you cannot fall back asleep. Walking away is an act of courage. It's an act of choosing your peace over people-pleasing. And the beautiful thing is that once you take that step, the world around you begins to shift. Suddenly, new opportunities appear. New people enter your life. Conversations feel lighter. You wake up in the morning and feel a sense of quiet joy because you're no longer surrounded by energy that drains you. Most people underestimate the power of a peaceful environment. They think success is about working harder, pushing more, forcing things to happen. But sometimes, success is simply about eliminating the wrong environments, so your true potential can finally breathe. You are not lazy. You are not unmotivated. You are simply tired of giving your energy to people who never gave it back to you. The moment you remove that weight, your motivation returns. Your creativity returns. Your passion returns. Why? Because space has finally been cleared for those things to grow. Here's the second truth you need to hear today. Walking away is not the end. It's the beginning of a new chapter. It's the beginning of discovering yourself again. It's the beginning of learning what you actually want in life, instead of settling for what you were given. It's the beginning of building your own standards. Standards that say, I will only surround myself with people who lift me up. I will only invest in places where my presence is valued. I will not accept half love, half support, or half effort. And when those standards become clear, so does your path. Let me tell you something important. You may walk away from someone or from a situation and feel temporary loneliness. That's okay. Do not rush to fill that space with just anyone or anything. Let that space remain empty for a while, because in that empty space, you will learn to hear your own voice again. In that empty space, you will start to remember your forgotten dreams, your deepest values, your true identity. This is where real growth happens. The people who truly belong in your life will not be the ones who need to be convinced of your value. They will recognize it immediately. They won't make you feel like it's a burden to love you, to support you, or to respect you. They will naturally gravitate toward you because your energy aligns with theirs. And when those people arrive, everything will feel different. Conversations will feel meaningful, not exhausting. Silence will feel peaceful, not awkward. And most importantly, you will no longer be questioning whether you are appreciated. Because appreciation will be obvious. It will be shown in actions, not just words. So don't be afraid of the transition. Don't be afraid of walking away from what is familiar. Familiar is not always good. Familiar can sometimes be toxic. Be more committed to your growth than to your comfort. Your future self will thank you for it. Here is what I want you to do today. Take a few minutes alone and write down the environments, habits, or people that no longer appreciate your effort. Be honest with yourself. Then, write a second list of the things that would actually bring you peace, inspiration, and motivation. That is the contrast your mind needs to clearly see. And once you see it, you will never again question whether walking away was the right decision. You will understand that it was necessary for your growth, for your peace, and for your life. Walking away from places where you're not appreciated is only the first step. What comes next is equally important, and it often determines whether you continue to grow or whether you slip back into the same old patterns. After leaving, many people experience a strange emptiness. They know they made the right decision, but they don't yet know how to rebuild themselves. And this is where real transformation begins. The moment you focus not on what you walked away from, but on who you are becoming. The first thing you must rebuild is your self-worth. Because even though you left, part of you may still be carrying that feeling of being not enough. You might catch yourself thinking, maybe I was the problem, or maybe I didn't try hard enough. But here's the truth. You tried. You showed up. You gave your best. And that was enough. The problem was not your effort. The problem was that your effort was not valued. Now is the time to remind yourself of what you bring to the world. Take a moment and reflect on your strengths. Think about the kindness you shared, the support you gave, the sacrifices you made. None of that was wasted. It all shaped you. It made you stronger, wiser, more compassionate. The fact that someone else couldn't appreciate it does not reduce its value. And it certainly does not reduce your value. Rebuilding your confidence is not something that happens overnight. It happens in small, consistent steps. It happens every time you say no to something that doesn't feel right. It happens every time you choose silence over arguing with someone who doesn't listen. It happens every time you remind yourself, I'm not going back to the old version of myself. Sometimes the world teaches us that being kind means accepting everything. But that's not true. Healthy kindness has boundaries. When you set boundaries, you're not pushing people away, you're protecting your own peace. When you protect your peace, your heart becomes stronger. When your heart is stronger, your confidence grows. One of the most powerful things you can do after walking away is to create a new daily routine that reflects the person you want to become. Start small. Wake up a little earlier. Spend a few minutes reading something uplifting. Go for a short walk and breathe deeply. Speak positive words over your life. Even if you don't fully believe them yet, this is how you reprogram your mind from a place of pain to a place of purpose. And yes, there will be moments when certain people try to pull you back into your old patterns. They will say things like, you've changed. You're overreacting. You're being selfish. Do not let those words convince you to abandon your growth. You have changed, and that's a good thing. You're not overreacting, you're finally reacting. And you're not selfish, you're finally taking care of yourself. Remember, people who benefit from your lack of boundaries will always label your boundaries as a problem. So how do you stay strong when they try to pull you back? You stay grounded in your why. You remind yourself of how drained you felt. You remember the nights you cried quietly because no one understood how much it hurt to feel invisible. You remember how empty you felt after pouring all your love into people who did not return it. And then you remind yourself that you never want to feel that way again. That reminder will keep you moving forward. At this stage of your journey, you must also surround yourself with positive influence. Watch videos that uplift your spirit. Listen to voices that remind you of your potential. Spend time with people who genuinely celebrate your small wins. Whenever you hear encouragement, let it enter deep into your heart. Because for a long time, you were surrounded by voices that made you feel small. Now it's time to build a new environment, an environment of appreciation, gratitude, and growth. You are not rebuilding from nothing. You are rebuilding from experience. And that experience is your strength. Here is something practical you can do today. Write a letter to your future self. In that letter, describe the person you want to become 6 months from now. Describe how confident, peaceful, and focused you will be. Write about the kind of people you choose to allow in your life and the kind of environments you refuse to accept. Keep that letter somewhere you can read it often. It will serve as a reminder when old patterns try to return. Don't rush this season. Healing is not a race. Growth is not a competition. Every single day you show up for yourself as a small victory. And those small victories will eventually turn into a completely different life. One day, you'll look back at this moment and realize that walking away was the best decision you ever made. Not because it made life easier, but because it led you back to yourself. Once you begin to rebuild your confidence and remember your true worth, something incredible starts happening. You no longer chase after people. Instead, you attract them. But here's the important part. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. That's why rebuilding your self-worth is so powerful. Because the stronger, healthier, and more self-respecting you become, the more you naturally draw in people who reflect those exact qualities back to you. After walking away from places where you were not appreciated, you've created a new kind of energy around you. It's the energy of someone who knows their value, someone who is no longer willing to settle for mediocrity, someone who expects mutual respect and genuine appreciation. That energy speaks louder than words. It tells the world, if you want to be a part of my life, you must come with authenticity and respect. But the reality is, not everyone who tries to enter your life will come with those intentions. Some people will appear friendly on the surface, but their presence will feel heavy. Some people will give you attention, but their attention will be shallow. That's why after rebuilding yourself, the next step is learning how to recognize the difference between genuine appreciation and superficial attention. Superficial attention is loud. It arrives quickly. It feels exciting for a moment. But there is no depth. These people say the right things, but their actions don't match their words. They disappear when you need them. They admire your glow, but they are not interested in supporting your growth. They will compliment you, but they will never truly show up for you. Genuine appreciation is quiet, steady, and consistent. It grows slowly over time. You don't need to question it. You don't need to beg for it. It is shown in small gestures, someone checking in on you, someone encouraging your dreams, someone listening when you speak. You feel peaceful around them. You feel safe to be your authentic self. You don't feel like you have to impress them in order to keep their attention. So here is a practical reminder. Don't confuse attention with appreciation. Attention is something anyone can give you. Appreciation is something that only people with genuine hearts will show. In this next stage of your journey, start paying close attention to how people make you feel. Your intuition is a powerful tool. If someone's presence makes your heart feel heavy, don't ignore that. Trust yourself. You're no longer in the season where you force connections to work. You're in the season where you allow things to flow naturally, where you let people reveal themselves over time. And if someone's energy doesn't align with your peace, you let them go with grace. One of the best ways to recognize genuine appreciation is this. Genuine people don't just consume your energy, they contribute to it. They don't just take, they give. They don't just want to be around you when it's easy, they remain supportive even in difficult times. Their presence inspires you to become more, not less. You don't need a large number of people in your life. You just need the right ones. In fact, the further you walk on your growth journey, the smaller your circle will become, and that's not a bad thing. Fewer people, more value. Fewer distractions, more focus. Fewer empty conversations, more meaningful connections. To attract the right people, keep doing the inner work. Keep honoring your boundaries. Keep practicing self-respect. The people who belong in your life will gravitate toward you naturally, and you won't have to beg for their attention or wonder if they appreciate you. Their actions will speak clearly. Trust it, and remember, appreciation is not just about how other people treat you. It's also about how you treat yourself. Treat yourself with the same kindness and encouragement you want to receive. Speak to yourself with respect. Celebrate your own progress. When you live in a constant state of self-appreciation, you create a natural filter that pushes away people who don't match that level of respect. Here's something powerful you can do. Write a short list of non-negotiables, things you will no longer accept in any relationship or environment. For example, I will not tolerate disrespect or manipulation. I will not stay in places where my effort is ignored. I will not entertain relationships that lack reciprocity. Then write another list of what you will welcome. I welcome people who encourage my growth. I welcome environments that bring me peace and clarity. I welcome connections built on mutual support and respect. Keep these lists somewhere you can see them. They will keep you grounded and focused when new people begin to enter your life. This is your time. You've walked away from what no longer served you. You've rebuilt your confidence. Now you're attracting what aligns with your worth. Never forget this simple truth. What you allow is what will continue. The more you honor yourself, the more life will honor you in return. Reaching this point in your journey is something to be proud of. You made the difficult decision to walk away. You rebuilt your confidence. You learned to recognize genuine appreciation. But now comes one of the most important parts of your growth, staying consistent with your new standards. Even when life gets challenging, growth is not a one-time decision. It is a commitment you renew every single day. There will be moments when old habits try to return, moments when loneliness tries to convince you to settle, moments when people from your past suddenly reach out again, telling you all the things you always wanted to hear. When that happens, you have to stay rooted in your truth. Here's something you need to understand. The universe will often test you after you make a decision to level up. It will send you familiar situations to see if you're really serious about your growth. And every time you say no to those old patterns, you strengthen a new identity. So when someone from your past tries to come back with the same energy that once drained you, that is not a sign to reconnect. It is a sign to remain focused. It is life asking you, do you remember what you promised yourself? This is why self-awareness is so important. You must constantly check in with yourself. Ask yourself questions like, does this situation align with my peace? Is this person honoring my boundaries? Am I feeling valued, or am I being used again? Those questions are your compass. They keep you on course when distractions appear. To stay consistent, it's also important to build daily habits that anchor your new mindset. Here are a few powerful habits to practice. 1. Morning intentions. Start your day by reminding yourself of your worth and your standards. Even a simple sentence like, today I choose peace and self-respect, will set the tone for your entire day. Thus, daily reflection. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect. Ask yourself, did I honor my boundaries today? Did I show appreciation toward myself? If the answer is no, don't judge yourself, just do better tomorrow. Growth is a process. 3. Protective silence. Not everyone needs to know your plans or your journey. Sometimes silence is your greatest protection. The less you explain yourself, the more power you keep. 4. Gratitude practice. Each day, write down 3 things you are grateful for. This keeps your heart focused on what's positive instead of what's missing. Gratitude cultivates contentment, and contentment protects you from settling for less. Another key to long-term consistency is removing guilt. People who have spent a long time giving and giving often feel guilty when they finally start prioritizing themselves. That guilt is not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's a sign that you're doing something different. You're breaking a pattern. Be patient with yourself. Over time, your heart will learn that choosing yourself is not selfish, it's necessary. It's also important to understand that some people will not like the new version of you. They will call it cold or distant or say you've changed. That's okay. You are not responsible for other people's comfort when their comfort comes at the expense of your peace. Growth sometimes requires losing people, but what you gain in return is invaluable. Clarity, strength, peace, and alignment with who you truly are. Here is a truth you must hold on to. Your peace is more valuable than someone's approval. Whenever you have to choose between keeping someone in your life and keeping your peace, always choose your peace. Because peace is what allows your mind to stay clear. And a clear mind is what allows you to keep growing. This is not just a mindset, it's a lifestyle. A lifestyle that says, I do not chase. I attract. I do not beg. I receive openly. I do not force. I flow with what aligns with my worth. And once this becomes a lifestyle, it becomes much harder for anyone or anything to pull you back into your old patterns. Let me remind you of something important. Some of the greatest blessings in your life are waiting on the other side of your consistency. The dream job, the healthy relationship, the inner peace you've been praying for. They don't just appear because you walked away. They appear because you continue to walk in the direction of your worth. So keep going. Here's a powerful exercise to strengthen your consistency. Write down a promise to self. It can be just one sentence, such as, I promise to never again stay where I am not valued. Place that promise somewhere visible on your phone, on your desk, on your mirror. Read it every single day. Let it guide the decisions you make. Over time, that promise becomes a part of your identity. There comes a moment in every journey where you realize this was never just about you. Yes, walking away from places where you weren't appreciated helped you reclaim your peace, rebuild your worth, and transform your life, but it also did something much bigger. It gave others permission to do the same. Whether you realize it or not, your decision to choose yourself is creating a ripple effect. People are watching. Some of them have been silently struggling in the same way you once did. They've been giving their whole heart to places that don't value them. They've been afraid of being alone, afraid of being misunderstood, afraid of letting go. But when they see you rise, when they see you set boundaries, reclaim your happiness, and grow without apology, they begin to believe they can too. That is the power of your story. You didn't just walk away. You lit a path. Maybe one day someone will come to you and say, I finally walked away from that relationship because of something you said. Or I finally decided to value myself because watching you grow gave me hope. In that moment, you'll realize that your pain wasn't wasted. It was transformed into purpose. This is what real impact looks like. Not a loud performance, not a forced inspiration, but a quiet, authentic testimony that speaks louder than any motivational speech ever could. I walked away when I wasn't appreciated, and that changed everything. But even as you step into this new chapter, never forget where you came from. Never forget the version of you who stayed longer than they should have. That version of you was not weak, they were learning. They were trying. They were doing the best they could with the understanding they had at that time. Always honor that version of yourself, because they are the reason you are here now. From this day forward, you have a choice. You can let your journey end with you, or you can let it become a source of light for others. How do you do that? By continuing to live your truth unapologetically. By speaking up for yourself and for others when you see injustice or disrespect. By reminding the people around you that staying in places where they aren't appreciated is not loyalty. It's self-abandonment. Sometimes you won't even need words. Your peace, your confidence, your clarity, they will speak for you. People will feel the difference in your presence. They will notice that you carry a calm strength, one that can only come from knowing your value. And that presence alone may give someone the courage to choose themselves. As your journey continues, keep asking yourself these 3 powerful questions. 1. Am I still being true to my worth? Your worth is not something you discover once, it's something you live by every day. Doug. Am I still protecting my peace? Your peace is your power. If something threatens it, don't hesitate to remove it. 3. Am I still growing? You didn't walk away just to stay the same. You walked away to become something greater. Don't stop now. Life will continue to present challenges. There will be moments when people misunderstand you, when opportunities fall through, when unexpected circumstances test your resolve. But every time those challenges come, remember, you've already proven that you have the strength to walk away from what doesn't serve you. That strength is still inside you. Let it guide you through every season. And no matter what happens, never go back to places that made you feel invisible. You didn't go through all this just to shrink again. You've come too far. You've grown too much. You are not who you used to be, and that is something to celebrate. So this is where we end this journey. But it's also where your new story begins. A story where you walk in rooms and no longer wonder if you belong. You know you do. You give your energy. Not because you want to be noticed, but because you genuinely want to make a positive impact. You attract people who see your value and reflect it back to you. You live your life with a quiet grace and an unshakable strength, knowing that the ones who appreciate you will stay, and the ones who don't will naturally fall away. Before we close, take one more deep breath and say this to yourself. I am no longer available for anything that doesn't honor my peace, my worth, and my growth. I choose myself. I walk away when I am not appreciated, and I trust that this choice will always lead me to something better. Let that be your truth from this day forward. Thank you for allowing Fuel the Growth to be a part of your journey. May your life be filled with people who celebrate you, opportunities that challenge you, and environments that help you grow into everything you were meant to be. Your journey doesn't end here, it begins. Keep walking, keep growing, and never forget, when you walk away from what doesn't appreciate you, you walk toward what was always meant for you.